I don't know about you, but when it comes to Sony as a publisher, I associate them with big name franchises and brands like Uncharted, God of War, Little Big Planet, SingStar and so on. Not as much with smaller, more unique games. But that's what they did a lot of over in Japan. One such oddity is Seigi no Mikata, released in 2001, and also, as far as I know anyway, developed by Sony themselves.
平和な街に突如現れた怪人たち。彼らは一体何者なのか。悪の秘密結社ゲネスってなんだ。そして奴らの真の目的とは。で、こいつは何者。世界に危機が迫るとき、一人の青年が立ち上がる。いよいよ始まる痛快ヒーロー大活劇。お楽しみに。常に正義と共にありし者。これが正義の味方だ。
It's reminiscent of games like Kokoron, how you assemble a hero of your choice, and Rent a Hero with how it stars a teenager who suddenly gets a suit/hero transformation ability. You play a television show running in mostly real time, 30 minutes each and 9 episodes in total. This aspect is similar to Tiger and Bunny on Air Jack on PSP, only that came later, and well, this is better. You start by creating your hero out of 8 different molds taken from Japanese Sentai TV history. I can't say I know which shows they were all inspired by, but I'm pretty sure Remodel Mask is Kamen Rider, Superman Force looks pretty Power Rangers, and the Universe Police looks like Tokyo Shirei's Soul Brain. In any case, you can mix and match your hero with a head, body and foot parts from any of the 8 archetypes, and then color on top of that. After your hero is assembled, you give him a title, and finally a name. This also becomes the title of the show that you're playing throughout the game. The show is set in Tadano City, which is under attack by the villainous Genes, for now at least led by Dark Lady, and she's brought her minion monster Big Bang Money to the party. The police are unable to defend the city, and when an innocent man is about to be caught in the crossfire, he jump kicks a young man to help. He's brave, but in no position to really do anything. Luckily for him, a female hero shows up to save him. The look of this heroine differs depending on how you design your hero, and her name varies too. The man that the boy, Koichi, at least tried to help, takes him back to the cafe he runs where he meets the young waitress Sayoko and gets a job there himself. Later he runs into Genes soldiers again at the park and again tries to be brave but gets himself laid out instead. But instead of going to the hospital, he gets picked up by an alien ship and is bestowed by the cute floating alien Ajara with a bracelet that lets him transform into Electronic Prince Justice Man. Now we can finally fight back. But as you'll see, Seigi no Mikata does not employ a beat-em-up style like Rent a Hero. Instead it invents its own pseudo-RPG-like thing. First you have a button mash-off that decides who gets to go first. These are really easy at first, but as the game goes on, you'll need a turbo controller to have any chance. Then we assume you got the initiative, in which case you get to input 10 button presses within a time limit. These will be your attacks. Then the enemy inputs his defense commands, and the fight plays out, and you hope that you get to hit him. Not that it's completely random, it's up to you to input varied commands, and certain inputs are harder for the enemy to block. When you defend, you need to copy the enemy sequence to block or dodge, because for every input you miss, you get hit once. and either side always has 10 HP. When it runs out, the fight is over. There are also the death attacks that can be used when health goes below a certain point, twice per combatant. When you do one, you have to press a number of buttons the right way in a short time, and the same for defending. If your death attack will work is up to RNG. But there's no rules to them. They can work in any fight, even the final boss. If you miss the defense input, you die. But it's not game over, usually anyway. The game is flexible in that regard, because you have to remember that you're playing a TV show, not actually being a hero in a deadly struggle. You're in a quest for ratings, to steal a South Park episode title. In every episode you have a ratings goal you have to meet. If you fail to do that, the show gets cancelled and then it is game over. But by getting defeated in a fight, you don't die, you just experience a drop in ratings. You can also lose ratings by failing minigames, or picking bad dialogue choices when citizens ask you for heroic advice. Story events happen at certain times during the show, and you have to be in the right place at the right time, lest you miss the event entirely, which is not good for ratings. Sometimes if the ratings are in a precarious position, it's best just to wait for the event to start rather than pass the time by talking to people, where you run a small risk of losing ratings. But standing still also loses you viewership. You can fool the game, however, by either walking around in a circle or holding the right stick in a direction, because apparently people at home can hold their attention on a hero standing still, if he's staring intently at something. Every episode starts with the show's intro, then its storyline, followed by gameplay, punctuated by some kind of fight, then a commercial, which is different in every episode.
ただの銀行
ガラススマイルをご提供します。
ヤオハルでーすのゲネゲーがついにお茶の間に大登場。
ゴミは黒いポリ袋に入れて出しましょう。
今ならなんと0円であなたのものになる。
献血にご協力お願いします。
和牛産地直送黒豚のお求めは
お問い合わせはお近くのゲネスまで。待ってるぜ。
Then more story and gameplay, which ends in a boss fight with the monster of the day. Then the credits and a trailer for the next episode.
今や人々の娯楽として欠かせないゲーム。ゲネスはその魔の手をゲームに伸ばす。次回危ないそのゲームに手を出すな。もちろん結果結末はあなたの努力選択活躍次第。頑張っていきましょう。
Then you get a break in the menus, where you can track your ratings trajectory, get trading cards, and read postcards from viewers. Some are drawings, some are from kids, some from adults, and some are complaints. In any case, this is a fun idea. Seigi no Mikata may not be one of my new favorite games exactly, that's a pretty high level, but I quite liked it nonetheless. It's different, and its sense of humor is my jam. But it had a surprisingly good underlying story too. It's slightly reminiscent to RoboCop actually. There's also replay value, because for every stage, there's an alternate boss to fight, if you go to another event other than the one that you think you're supposed to go to. The graphics aren't very good. Even though it's PS2, it looks more like a Dreamcast game. But on the other hand, it's pretty charming, and the jank enhances the slapstick humor that they're going for. The music is pretty good too. The opening theme is catchy, and the boss battle music is a foot tapper once it gets going. It was interesting that when I beat the game like normal, there was one ending song, and when I lost to the final boss, I got an alternative ending with a different song.
走る
Seigi no Mikata only came out in Japan, of course, but if you want to experience it to some degree, check out my translated playthrough. Justice Change!